Flayed ones are twisted and ghoulish Necron terrors afflicted by an ancient infection that breeds a hunger for organic flesh in them. Flayed ones act as specialised close combat troops and appear from an unknown pocket dimension of their hideous kind to join the Necron armies in battle, though never by invitation from the Necrons themselves. These loathsome creatures were once Necrontyr who managed to retain some of their original consciousnesses when they were transferred into their living metallic bodies of necrodermis, but were cursed with a terrible disease manifesting a hunger for flesh that cannot be satisfied that eventually drove them to madness. Advancing before a Necron force, these stooped yet terrifying agile automatons excel at infiltrating and spreading terror like a plague within the ranks of their foes. They are quite capable melee fighters and make use of flensing blades that extend from their fingers and can flay a man alive in seconds. Thin and weary, they happily adorn themselves with the still wet pieces of skin and hide that they have stripped from their victims, leaving behind the skin corpses to sow fear and confusion. They are a terrifying sight to behold, so much that the enemy combatants lose the nerve when they see pieces of their old squad mates hanging from the undying machines approaching their lines. In addition to their wicked claws, some Flayed ones utilise Necron disruption field technology that allows them to rip even armoured vehicles apart. Some Necrons are stricken with a curse even more heinous than the madness of the Necron destroyers. The nature of the curse is a little misunderstood, even by the wisest of the cryptecs, but its results are unmistakable. A victim of the Flayer curse first loses its sanity. In the case of the Necron warriors, this may go unnoticed until far into the process, as a single malfunctioning warrior amongst thousands is easily overlooked. This madness first manifests as a drive to kill that can cause a Necron to ignore commands, to cease fire, or to hold a position. While this urge to kill is held in common with the Necron destroyers, the ultimate goal is quite different. Destroyers exist by the act of killing itself, with extermination of life as the means and the end. Flayed ones kill in order to sate an unnatural hunger for flesh and blood. They kill so that they might feast. Of course, as machines, Necrons are incapable of consuming food or drink of any kind, and so this hunger can never be satisfied. Yet Flayed ones have devolved far beyond reason or logic. As they cut down their prey, they stop to smear meat across their unmoving jaws as blood drips down their steel necks and dribbles their stained ribs to a pool at their feet. This disease of the mind is accompanied by equally grotesque physical changes as the living metal necrodermis of the affected Necron reconfigures to better serve its new purpose. The fingers of the Flayed ones morph into a wicked knife-like claws, while their legs often grow an additional joint, allowing for a greater speed and in some cases for much better movement, yet the final transformation that would allow a Flayed one to quench its thirst never comes, giving credence to the legend that the Flayer curse was bestowed by one of the ancient Cthulhu's in its death throes. Most bizarrely, Flayed ones develop an ability to travel between dimensions. Many cryptecs believe the Flayed ones inhabit an alternate reality all on their own, inaccessible to other Necrons. Through unknown means, Flayed ones are able to somehow sense when the Necron brethren are in combat, appearing to slaughter the enemy and take the grisly trophies which they derive their name. Other Necrons do not welcome the presence of Flayed ones, both for the risk of the passing of the Flayer curse to the others, and because they operate completely outside the chain of command. Even if a Nemesis was to brash orders out to a pack of Flayed ones, they would only be ignored. As destroyers are engaged in battle more often than any of the other Necrons, Flayed ones naturally tend to congregate around them. Destroyers themselves, shunned and avoided by their fellow Necrons, are much more likely to tolerate the presence of Flayed ones than they are the traditional Necron forces. In the eyes of the destroyers, the devolved Flayed ones are accomplishing the same goal. And unlike a traditional Nemesis, destroyer lords have no objectives in battle, which might be compromised by the frenzied slaughter of the Flayed ones.